So I am almost done transferring my Trello boards, my incredibly dense Trello boards from about 6 years of ideas in project management over to Notion. And I kind of have a little bit of a methodology going. So I wanted to capture that in case it might be helpful. So I've got this inbox set up. This is basically where all tasks come in. I have the ability to file those tasks and then add the data. So I have like a macro task database that then gets triaged to all the projects. Sometimes they get converted into just things like some other databases. Most of them, they stay as a task, but sometimes they do get converted into, really, it's usually like a reminder or like my curated input database, which is books and magazines, not really magazines, books, podcast episodes, movies, things that people recommend. So that is a different database. I've kind of separated my tasks, as in my outputs, the things that I'm doing versus the things that I'm taking in. I did decide to separate those. That's a whole other thing, trying to figure out whether there should be one database or two databases. But I'm really trying to keep it as simple as possible and not have a ton of databases in my Notion. So the tasks database is the main database. So really what I need to do is, if we go over to Trello, we need to see, the one I'm going to do with you is this one. Like, oh my gosh, so much stuff. We probably will not go through organizing it all, but most of them I had, I don't know, maybe like 30 boards or something. So these were like the ones that this one's not so bad. Maybe I'll do that one with you instead, because this one has some templates too. So I'll show how those were transferred over. So it just doesn't have as many columns, but that's okay. Yeah, this one will be a little bit more manageable. And then some of my buckets have changed as well. So like what is a bucket in Notion is not necessarily a board in Trello. Some of them were easy to just say like, okay, all these cards on this board get converted to tasks and get added to this bucket in Notion. But this one in particular, the marketing brand sales, it's going to probably be all over the place. Definitely marketing content. I think that's why I've been procrastinating these, is because the board does not correlate to what I call buckets, which are basically projects, but they're not all really projects. So buckets is a more inclusive term. Like, I don't really consider the podcast a project. It's just an ongoing thing, or like our design system and like keeping our brand consistent. That's not really a project. Adulting, not really a project either. Anyway, biz ops, buckets is better term. So those are my main two databases, my tasks database and my buckets database, which sort of, this aligns to cards in Trello, and this aligns to boards in Trello. Okay, so if we go over, let's do this brand sales one. So you can see the columns after I inputted it, and you just go to import. I've already connected it, and then you just select which boards you want to, you can see I had a lot, which boards you want to input. I did not do all of mine at once. And then you click import, and it just imports under your private section. And it pulls in pretty nicely. It looks like some images. Often the image does come in. I'm actually kind of disappointed that this image did not come in. So that's interesting. So I'll have to like go back and grab that image, which kind of sucks, because this is literally an image of a handwritten, of a handwritten like napkin notes type thing. So some of this, yeah, that one too. That's disappointing that didn't come in. I'm wondering if it didn't come in because I'm using it as a cover. Let's see, let's remove the cover and see if that worked. And I'll show you how the import works. So I'm just gonna delete this because I'm gonna re-import it. Boop. I love how when you click a column in a database and you try to delete a column in a database, an attribute basically, it warns you, but if you delete the whole database, it doesn't warn you for that. You can delete the entire database with no warning, but one attribute, and they're gonna warn you about it. Interesting choice. Okay, oh, time to do yoga. Okay, let's do an import. Trello, I'm gonna uncheck this one, marketing content, hit import. And it really usually doesn't take that long. Opportunity to take a deep breath. Okay, still didn't come in. So our images are not coming in very nicely. So I will have to, it's, it's nice that it imports. I really thought that I was going to be doing a whole lot of copying and pasting, which was going to be terrible. So this is a really good starting point. Which one should we do? Let's do this one since it's not, but you can see, you'll get the same idea. This is just a little bit less stuff. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a table view just so, because it comes in board view. And I'm going to eliminate the stuff that doesn't matter anymore. So it does actually pull in assigning, but I have a different field. You know what? Now I'm curious. If I change this to, it's assigned to, if this just said assign, I wonder if it lines up. What do you think? So all I'm doing here is I'm making sure that this label is the exact same as this one, so that I don't have to transfer that over. Interesting. Okay, let's try it again. Let's see if it does it cleaner that time. So I'm gonna do the brand sales one this time. It's so easy to, like, if it comes in and it's not perfect, or like you feel like you need to go clean it up in Trello again or delete stuff, which is a good point. I should mention, I don't completely clean it up in Trello before bringing it in, because if I am gonna delete something, like, or I don't want to have to look at everything twice, basically. So I think I did like a quick once over to be like, oh, I can definitely delete that. That doesn't spark joy anymore. But I didn't go into it in detail in Trello. I'm going to do that in Notion, because I just want to look at it once and do all my tagging and do all my routing it to the right place. So I'm not really doing a whole lot of organizing on Trello side before I bring it into Notion. Okay, so that was marketing, brand sales, click import. Let's see if that aligns if I just keep the label the same. Because often Notion surprises me on how smart they are. Look, it did. All I need to do is change that from assign by. So if you do have, fields that, let's see how this is organized. If you do have fields, so I even have custom fields here. Ooh, the custom fields did not come over, did they? Let's see. Good to know, right? Let's look at these properties. No, our custom fields did not, maybe it's just because none of them were selected. Oh gosh, now I want to try it again. Because I don't know if I actually am using that on any of them. Let's see if marketing content, did I use that? Did I have any custom fields? Urgency, level of effort. So to check this, I can do, we're learning together. Oh my gosh, here we go. Custom fields. Urgency, show in front of the, yeah. I wanted to just make sure it's showing there. Showing, yes. Level of effort showing to level of, whoop. Yeah, I don't, maybe I wasn't using those. Oh my gosh, we're gonna import again. Okay, let's import again. Let's just see, because I would like you to know if the custom fields, so let's just say Steve Smith is high value. Let's do this for the marketing brand sales. Let's say the redesign of the thank you cards is voluntary low value, and rewiredux.com, this is urgency high value. Okay, let's try it one more time and see if but the big thing to note is, like, if you do have like labels will come in. It looks like status will also come in. So status is going to be your columns. Okay. This does not align to this status field. So if I pull that over, I don't think it might, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to stop learning. I'm just going to show you what I've been doing. Okay, so let's look at importing that one more time to see if the custom fields come over. Marketing brand sales, import. And just to see kind of an X-ray, let's create a table view. It does not. So those custom fields are not going to come over for you. So if you're a heavy user of custom fields, that's going to suck, unless there's some trick that I'm missing. Okay, so I'm going to basically here, I'm going to, well, let me first not confuse myself and delete this other one. I am going to delete quite a bit. I'm going to delete my status too, because I don't want it to add another. Let's just see. Let's see if I leave that and I convert, because I'm going to convert this all to a task. Will it convert if, let's see, it's exactly the same. So material, like, do I have to get the emoji the same too? Let's give it a try. Let's see if it works. I don't think it will. So if it's lowercase and it's that like filing cabinet thing, it's this guy. And then it's low. Let's just see if it's case sensitive. So this is exactly the same. Ooh, should I get the color the same too? All right, let's see. And I'll just leave these the same. Okay, it might create that addition. It might, so this would be a good test. Does it create an additional label that I can just go in there and delete? Okay, so now I'm going to delete some other pieces like this attachments. It's broken anyway. I'll go back to it. Well, I do have an attachments field. Let's leave that. Let's leave remove the due date. So basically you're cleaning up any columns that don't make sense anymore, and then matching up as best as possible the columns to like see how well it converts, because now you don't want to just leave all of your boards as separate databases. Basically you're going to want to convert them into that master task list, because I would highly recommend a master task list. So I'm shift clicking here to select them all, and then I'm going to move to tasks. And so they're going to move to the tasks. I can go over to my inbox where I can now they've been converted. Did it work? It did work. And it did not bring over so it's because I got it completely matched up. It did work. How about that? Look at that. It did not pull over that working on tag, which I'm actually surprised. I thought it would add that to it, but it did not. So if it doesn't, when you convert it to your main task database, if it doesn't recognize that status, again, status is going to be what's across here, then it will not match up. So what you need to do is you just need to make sure that it's exactly the same as the statuses that you have in Notion, and it will just sync up. Look at that. Okay, great. Yeah, so these just didn't come in with any with any status. And the assign worked just how we wanted. It's just created by Notion. That's cool. And so now what I need to do is I want to go in here and I just want to delete what I don't want anymore, decide which bucket it goes to. Do I need to fix the assigning? Do I need to change the status? And I can add any of these other fields as well. I could have probably synced up that due date, but those due dates were so old that didn't even matter anymore. So now I just need to go in here. This is totally Material Warehouse. This is going to be the Doodlebug funnel. Look up Doodlebug if you are confused about that. It's basically marketing funnel. I don't need to assign that to anyone right now. Great. Okay, that's all I need to do. Quiz. Am I a good candidate for the Orca certification? This would be something that would probably live on oaux.com, but I'm just going to add that to marketing. So a lot of these are going to be Doodlebug funnel because it comes from the marketing brand sales board. So I could just, if I knew that these were all going to be the same bucket, like some of my other boards, which were a 1-to-1, the bucket was a 1-to-1, and I made sure that my inbox was empty and ready to pull all this stuff in, I could do that. Select, and I can edit the bucket. So let's just go ahead and make these all just so I have a smart default, if you will, and then I can change it if it doesn't make sense. So I'll just go ahead and add Doodlebug funnel there. Okay, and one thing I forgot to show you is I want to click this filed. Like once I'm ready to send it out of the inbox and file it under Doodlebug funnel, if I want to add anything else, now would be a good time to do that. So I'm going to click filed and really, yeah. And then I can just click the down arrow. This is, yeah, Doodlebug funnel, that's fine. Click filed. Am I seeing the same one? No, okay, there we go. Quick post benefit of OUX by role. That is gonna be less Doodlebug funnel and more content creation. So these are multi-reference. I don't think there's a way to make a single reference. So I'm gonna get Doodlebug funnel out of there. And I could have it in 2 places. I've experimented with that, but it kind of like feels like it doubles the task or something. But there are some tasks that I do go ahead and have it show up in 2 places, which is fine. I'm gonna pause real quick to mention something that's really important to know. If you set up your Notion database like this because you're coming from Trello and you have something like buckets or boards, like your project level database and then tasks inside of it, a good thing to know that it's different from Notion and Trello. If you delete a board in Trello, it's going to delete all the cards inside of it, right? There's that inheritance. That is not how it happens over in Notion. If I go and, for example, delete this Doodlebug funnel board, if you will, or bucket in this case, like I'll go over and just show you. So if we go to buckets and we go to Doodlebug funnel, okay, you can see all this, and a lot of these are coming in now, the ones that we just added to our material warehouse here, which is good. But if I go and I decide to delete this entire board, these are not going to be deleted. They're just going to be homeless, right? They're just not going to have a project associated with them. So that is something that I did have to learn that, oh, right, okay, all I'm doing, there's a relationship between these, but there's no, like I haven't built in any, Notion is not assuming any parent-child relationship where if the parent is deleted, all the children are deleted. It is a two-way street. So if that makes any sense. So all of these are not going to be deleted. They will still stay as tasks. They will still have all of their other information. They just won't have that bucket associated with them. They will just have no bucket associated with them. Or if they have another bucket associated with them, then they will be added there. So if you really truly wanted to nuke an entire project with all the tasks inside of it, an entire bucket, project, whatever you call it, I would go into a table view. I would add a table view. I would mass delete all the tasks and then delete the bucket, if that's what you're looking for. Okay. Back to what we were doing. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pop through these. Create video explainer for training pages. Okay, this is going to actually more like oaux.com. And this should be coming up soon. Oops, and I want to click filed too, just so it disappears from my inbox and goes to where it needs to go. YouTube channel cleanup. Oh my gosh. This is something total material, warehouse, doodlebug funnel. This is going to be more in content creation. All right. This is more content creation. Honestly, this is actually more design system. Totally material warehouse. I could be filling in some of these other aspects as well, like urgency and value. This is non-urgent and unsure of the value on that. So this is kind of Stephen Covey's importance versus urgency grid. Okay, and then I'm going to go through this, and I'm just going to kind of go through all of these. Did I just have that on there twice? YouTube channel cleanup? No, I didn't. Boop. And I'll continue to, this is an entire project board now. So this one, I probably need to like pull, like a lot of work needs to happen here. So it does bring in all your checklists, of course, which is really, really nice. So this is something I'm going to put in this week because just a minute, I don't need to do all these things this week, but I need to like pull this out and kind of do a bit more with it. This is obviously oaux.com. And I'm going to change the title here and just say, convert to tasks. And then hit, and this is not going to be, Luke doesn't need to be on there. I definitely want myself on there because I want this to show up in my dashboard. And I'm going to click filed, and I'm just going to continue to go through this. So this is more podcast. Oh, I accidentally created a new bucket. Oh, it's so annoying. Watch out for typos, because it'll just create a new one. No big deal. It could be deleted later. And I'm going to take him off. We don't really, this is still material warehouse. Get to it when we get to it. All right, I'm going to skip over to show how now I have this template. So I wanted to make sure, because I have, if you do use templates in Trello, these are not going to come over. Okay, so what I need to do is I just wanted to make a card out of them so that they come over, and I can now, and this is, I'm actually doing this one for the first time, so let's see how this goes. So now I have this gig template, and I'm just gonna, there's so much here, oh my gosh. So I'm just gonna copy all of this, Command C, and I'm gonna go over to my templates. And I'm going to do a new template. Call it training gig. And just paste all of that in there. And then later on I can go and see how accurate this still is. But yeah, so that's basically how I just transfer over my, now it's a template in Notion. And then I can just delete that. I don't need that anymore. Web design gig. Oh my gosh. Not really doing much of that. It's actually still a pretty good list. Cute prices. Okay, so I'm just copying it, and then I'm gonna do new template, site, design, and dev gig. All right, and now that, and I'm gonna add an icon for that. Money bags. Okay, so now that those are templates, and so basically that is it. It doesn't take too long, and then it's a good opportunity. I mean, it's a good opportunity to kind of condo. So it's like moving. I mean, I was really overwhelmed by moving everything from Trello to Notion, but overall, it gives you a chance to kind of look at everything, see what doesn't apply anymore, get rid of old stuff, rethink your organizational structure. So really happy, not going to be looking back. And yeah, hopefully this helped helped you think about how to transfer from Trello into Notion.